Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Garden Knicks podcast. I'm your host, Apollo Reed. I'm here with Andre Jalil and Rick Derula. How y'all doing, fellas?
Oh,
Cool.
we chilling. After a W.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yeah.
Listen, the Knicks are still first in the
Number
Eastern
one.
Conference, number one in the East, 123 to 117. I know it's still early, but I don't care. We're gonna take our victories while we get them.
Oh man, we
You know what I'm
number
saying?
one. What you talk about?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Get
there's
mad
nothing to
right
talk about.
now.
Nothing to
Where
talk
the
about.
Lakers fans number one? The Lake Show number one. The Nets number one. Nah, the
I don't know what
Knicks right now.
I don't know.
We gonna
I don't know.
celebrate.
I think they got Washington ahead of us now, though.
They do? How's that possible? You kidding me? Let
They
me look
won
at it real
tonight.
quick.
How many? Washington is 5-1 too.
Yeah.
Or what, did they beat the Magic or something? What's going on?
They beat who they just beat?
Oh,
The
in the
Pacers.
conference. In the conference, they're
Oh, they-
5-1. That's why.
Yeah.
They're 5-1 in the conference, and we're 4-1 in the conference. Neither here nor there.
No,
I
we're
guess we're
We're
five and
not
one.
number one right now.
We're 5-1.
No, in the conference. Did we play anybody from the West Coast? Yes. Right? Yeah. Yeah. We're 5-1 because we beat. That's our record, but we're 4-1 in the conference. We played one team that was a West Coast team, and that was the Pelicans tonight. That's why the Wizards.
So they got them ahead of us.
They got them ahead of us, even though we have the same record, 5-1. You know, it is what it is. But we actually have.
Y'all whack.
What do you mean we're whack?
Not y'all. Talk about like these cats.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
whack. Anyway, Knicks beat
Oh, but
Pelicans.
we actually tied. So we tied for number one.
We're tied for number one. We was tied last
Yeah,
night.
could you
too.
imagine the Wizards and the Knicks tied for number one in the East?
That's the only reason why I'm
Yeah.
kind of like I'm not as excited anymore because I'm like we're talking about the Wizards. If the Wizards are not gonna stay there, I don't know how serious these games are right now. But I mean,
Well, think about it. The Brooklyn Nets are 3-3. That should never happen. They're at
well,
50%.
they're losing those games though. They're actually losing those games. Like it's
Right.
not like the record is whatever, but like they're actually losing those games because they're not looking good.
The Nets in Atlanta are 3-3, and Milwaukee is 3-2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Philadelphia is 4-2. It's not like as far if we lose one, we'd be neck and neck with them. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of season ahead of us. It's
Yeah.
fun to be up there though.
It's still early.
Yeah, it's still a little early, but you know, coming down. Who we got to play? What is the schedule looking like? Actually,
We got the Pacers, we got the Raptors, we got the Pacers.
that's who we play next. Pacers,
I think we play the Raptors and then we play the
Raptors. Yeah.
Raptors, and then the
Pacers.
Pacers. Yeah, Raptors and then Pacers.
Yeah.
Raptors
We're
are
gonna go
looking.
to Toronto. We're gonna go up
Yeah.
there, bust some ass unless they come to the Garden.
Mhm.
And then
Raptors,
we got
Pacers.
Milwaukee. Right after.
Oh, we're gonna watch them
Milwaukee.
up. Milwaukee's is what?
And then
They
Cleveland and
spot. Come on.
Philly again and Milwaukee. We've got
Yeah.
a tough stretch, and then the tough stretch is actually Philly, Milwaukee, and then Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And Philly and Chicago are going to be trying to get some actually I'm lying. Milwaukee and Charlotte. I said Chicago. I saw the CH and I thought it was Chicago. Charlotte and Indiana. Listen, man, we've got a tough we've got an easy stretch to start the season. And I'm actually pretty
Good, we
confident
get to the
that we're
groove.
gonna
That's
take
like our
advantage
preseason.
of it. Yeah, we're gonna take advantage of it.
We have to.
But yes, Knicks beat the Pelicans 123 to 117. Good game. Good game. Well,
It was all right. It was a good game for RJ.
it's one of those
It was a
games
great
where
game for RJ.
I'm kind of upset because of how difficult they made it towards the end, as
Yeah,
usual.
the Knicks love making these games interesting.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I really
I
don't
feel
understand
like-
why.
I feel like the silver lining with winning these games is hopefully it develops that thing where we learn how to close out and finish. It looks like we're practicing on how to finish games and close
Right.
games.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying? I hope that's what they get. I hope they get to the point where we're here often.
Right.
We're right at home in these close games where we could pull out a win.
Right. I mean, I'm starting to see that they're pretty comfortable with certain things. You know what I mean? Like, just getting to their spots. These guys are starting to get comfortable with each other. Their chemistry is starting to look good. Of course, we can start with RJ. RJ, of course, looked
Yo,
great
can we
tonight.
clap it up for RJ tonight?
Clap it up for RJ. Clap it up for RJ. RJ had a great game.
Great.
35 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists.
Career high.
career high with and to me the biggest thing is he had one turnover, just one turnover. Let me just actually show you guys as usual what I'm looking at here. But in a game where Julius Randle didn't necessarily look good, you know what I mean?
Put them
I
stats
mean,
up
it's yeah, I got you. But in a game where Julius Randle didn't necessarily look good,
for Josh on the stats.
RJ definitely stepped up and he did his thing. He was 5 for 6 from the free throw line, 6 for 8 from the three-point line, and he hasn't necessarily looked great. I think he was in the 20s, high 20s, I think, from 3. And so far in the season, and tonight he came out and shot 75% from 3, for 6 for 8 from the field. 12 for 18 from the field, 6 for 8 from 3. Dre, what'd you see from RJ, your favorite guy tonight, man?
Being that he's my favorite guy, man, it was an RJ night. You know what I'm saying? I think I liked how there was one play that I saw that I noticed I want to talk to y'all about. I don't know if you noticed it. So the play looks like, how they give and go, then this person goes. So I forgot who passed it to RJ, but RJ is supposed to pass it back up to the top to Julius.
Mm-hmm.
So he ran past Julius, ran to but regular Joe is back.
Oh.
Yo, man, it's been a minute, man.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro?
Yo been MIA. We're gonna change that JOE to MIA.
Regular MIA.
This is the first show you hit up since the season started, though.
Joe been busy.
Joe don't mess with us like that no more. It's cool. You know what I'm saying?
I figured that. I don't know if you got him mad or something like that.
Nah.
He don't fuck with us like that no more.
He don't fuck with us. Nah, that's my guy. I talk to Joe all the time. So
but
he's a busy man. He's marriage coming up. You know what I'm saying? Wedding coming up. You know what I'm saying? Big things, man.
Take your time, big brother. Take your time now.
Congrats, bro.
We trying to tell you now.
We trying to tell you now. Slow down, but
you might want to. All right, just take it easy now. Happy for you now, but just go in that prayer closet or something, brother. All right,
just go in that prayer closet or something.
But so RJ ran past Julius,
and
then he went to the basket and threw the alley-oop for Mitch, and you can see.
Yeah,
Julius
that was beautiful. I love that play.
Yeah, but you see, Julius was like. Either he was like, "Oh, you better had," or like, "Yo, come on, I like."
Yeah. Because I mean, he was looking for the ball.
Yeah, but I just feel
Melo
like
did it all the time.
Melo did that in the post game, and they said, and he said that third year is kind of like that year, and that's what I've been saying about RJ the first year, the second year. This is the year where I want to see how RJ, if he does this, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you can have a really good night from him. But this is one of those things with RJ Barrett. Like you have like good games and you have like games where he's not really there. And he's not like it doesn't seem like he's into it, or he just doesn't get his opportunities. But I like the fact that he went. I wouldn't say he went nut. But as soon as he passed Julius was like, "Yo, like come on!" Like the ball was supposed to go to him.
Yeah, shout out to
like
Nick
this
Light.
Is the play. You give it to me. But he let it go right past him. He threw the alley-oop, and I thought it was dope. But RJ was aggressive. I feel like this needs to be RJ every night. He's got to be aggressive like that. Sometimes he got to let go. He got to let it pass go. I can't wait to see that one when he goes past. You're gonna see it, and keep your eyes on Julius too.
Yeah,
there you go. Oh no, that's not the one. That's not the one. Because somebody gave it to him, and then he passed. I forgot who it was.
Okay. Because I remember the alley-oop. That's what I was thinking about.
Oh, that's it. They didn't show it.
No, it was somebody else that was there. It wasn't. I don't think it was Julius. I think that was it right there.
Nah, that wasn't that. Yeah, look. See Julius. He dropped his hand like, "Yo, come on." And then look at
that one. He's like, okay.
Julius was like, all right.
Okay. He did the point like, all right, go, yo.
Yeah, but look at he dropped his arms like, yo, come on. When he drove past him, you see him drop his arm. Watch.
I definitely didn't catch
Look, he dropped his arm. So he looked like, yo, come on.
Come on, yeah.
I rewound that like 3 times. And because I just wanted to see how he was feeling. But I was like, oh, all right. So it looked like RJ got to hold the ball for himself because he ain't never gonna get it. When we talk about that, it just seemed like sometimes you don't get the rock. But if you got the heat, stick with the hot hand. Yo, he was doing passes. He was assists. He was dimes. I was like, yo, RJ was going off tonight. This is him.
Yep.
This is
the biggest. Okay. The biggest thing that I saw was composure. Like he didn't look frantic. He didn't look panicked. When he had the ball, like he was looking to score. And that's exactly what he did. 6 from 8 from the 3-point line.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like if by this game, I'm just talking about this game. It looks like the game is slowing down a little bit to him.
Right.
Like him going to the basket, he was going high off the glass over shooters and all that.
And that's what Ricky and I were talking about before the show. There's actually the difference tonight in RJ was his ability to actually finish at the rim, because he attacks the basket all the time.
And he misses sometimes.
And he misses. The thing is, he's actually making them. That was the difference tonight.
He looked
if
confident.
RJ is making him, number one, they're gonna keep going to him, and then he's gonna have 20 plus, 30 plus points. All he did tonight was he was 6 for 8 from 3. There were some games last year where he shot however many threes and he made 5 or 6 threes. This is something I've seen already from RJ, so I'm not surprised with those. I wanted him to get back to it this year, which he finally did. But I think the difference was his ability to actually finish. He gets to the basket, he does that well, but finishing at the basket is something that's going to take his game to the next level, man. And that's just something that I'm proud of him actually doing. You know what I'm saying? What we saying? What'd you say?
It's a whole nother level.
Oh,
y'all remember that Key and Peele skit?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man,
wait.
Oh man, you don't know Key and Peele? I'm gonna send you, man. It's dumb funny. All
right. Yeah, man. Shout out to the chat, of course. Joe, once again, everything we've seen from RJ tonight was all the things he worked on.
He knocked down a shot off the dribble.
He shot off the dribble, and that was the one that you usually see Julius do. Where he goes to the right side and he pulls up mid range. And it's like, okay, you're finally doing that. That's something that he's capable of doing now, but it was the confidence that he lacked up until this point. And that's something that he's the step backs. Yeah, that's the step back, boy. Oh my goodness gracious, that was crazy. He's starting to get comfortable, and I
putting
think
it together.
He has to have these games in order to get the ball though.
If RJ if this is like a nightly RJ, the Knicks are dangerous, because if you look at it, Fournier had 19.
That's what I was thinking of too.
Fournier was 19, and I think Kemba had 19.
No, Kemba had 18. Yeah,
Kemba had 18. And so like these dudes are putting it, and Julius didn't really have a good game.
Yeah, 10. Yeah,
10 tonight.
And like that this is the type of, because when you look at this squad, I feel like the only reason why they were there, first of all, again, the Knicks were playing down to their competition. Like they expected to win it. Like they were just gonna walk in there. You can see there was a lot of players they walking up the court. They not getting back on D. Like it didn't look like it meant anything to them.
Right.
But at least I'm happy. At least we did come out with the win, because this is like going into our past. The Knicks would have just lost it. They'd have dropped it. Looks like too many smiles on my screen. He came in with the again. You know he's happy.
He hates it. He hates it.
You know what I'm saying? But he still dials in every time.
He's here.
He dials in.
You know what I'm saying? IP Star Wave says they wasn't forcing him right at all. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to force him right when you got Julius over there, you got Mitch over there. You know what I mean? And that's the point of why they filled the holes that they did this year in the offseason, is because you needed guys who you can't. Because number one, RJ is strong as shit. He's very, very strong. He's gonna get downhill, and nobody realizes he's very, very, very strong for his size. So he can absorb a lot of that contact.
Yep.
So he's gonna force himself left every single time until you stop him from doing that. And if you force him left enough, and to you force him right, he can finish right. You've seen him a couple plays tonight, and even last game, he finished with his right. But you know what I'm saying? That was the reason why they added so many guys who can shoot, finish, and adding Mitch back into the mix, which is an extreme lob threat. You know what I mean? You can't force him in the other direction, and that's why you have to do that. And you saw last year when not even last year, the year before, when they didn't have all of these weapons, RJ driving left and left and left and left and left. After a while, I was like, all right, we know you're gonna do that, and you're gonna miss every single time. But you add weapons to the team, and you open up those lanes for him. Shout out to King Lexus. Is that yes? Shout out my boy Ralph. What's going on, man? Left-handed T-Mac. Yeah, we were saying that. Lefty T-Mac. My boy RJ.
That's pretty big to live up to.
I'm not sure if they played down. I just think the Pelicans played hard as hell. Their bell pressure was excellent tonight.
Yeah, I mean, but the Knicks did play down.
They did.
They did.
The Pelicans didn't have two of their stars, so this should have been like a blowout.
Yeah. Well, and they started out that way.
I don't see. That's the thing, though. There's always somebody on your bench you never know is gonna go off because just because you don't game plan for them doesn't mean that these guys are in the NBA.
They playing hard. They were going. They were trying to sneak up and get that win. Yeah.
Yeah, and they practice against these guys who are the starters, and they believe that they should be starters. So every chance they get, they're going to go hard every single time. So whenever these stars aren't in, I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I think if anything, it's going to be a more difficult game because you can't game plan for players who don't get minutes. Like there's not enough tape on them to actually know their tendencies. So guys like Alexander Walker and Kyra Lewis, like you don't really know these guys' games. You know what I'm saying? Same thing for Cole Anthony when Cole Anthony went off that game, the one game we lost, which could have happened tonight to us if we didn't just buckle down and get to what we had to do. But yeah, it's I don't really like saying that when guys are out because the next guys that are up are going to play a lot harder. They're not going to be as calm and relaxed as the stars that aren't in the game. You know what I'm saying? So
there is a stat here that says that the Knicks bench scored 32 points, and then it also said the Pelicans bench scored 32 points. So our benches evened it out.
Yeah.
So
I think we scored 52 points in the paint.
Yes.
Crazy.
Ridiculous.
I missed the I thought that we were going to see Noel tonight, which I thought that would have been fun. That would have been really interesting to see.
Yeah.
To see Nerlens in there, but I don't know what the situation is. But you're right, Joe. Like it was their building. They had the building was half empty, but they were out there rooting for their team. And like you said, no, they're not gonna lay it down. But I just feel like the Knicks definitely lacked intensity.
They did.
They let them feel. Like I said, the Knicks are really good at making the game interesting. Like there was sometimes they were coming up the court, they weren't getting back on D after like free throws, and it was just like, yo, stop playing. Like these dudes not gonna give you the game.
Right. So Julius do that a couple times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was Julius. That's who I got in mind. Like these guys are skipping down there, like guys opening the corner. It's like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and that's one thing I liked about RJ today because he never took his foot off the pedal. He was the one guy who was like, all right, I'm going hard every second.
He was like, nah. Especially when you have a good game. He knew he had a good game midway through. He like, I got to go through with this. I got to fix it. You know what I'm saying? And Kemba knocked down a shot late, a 3-pointer, big shot.
Yeah.
But that's cardiac.
Well contested too.
Well contested. Yeah.
Well contested.
Yeah.
RJ had 25 in the second half. He had 10. He only had 10 at the half, bro. Like that's just crazy to me. And I would
think he usually goes off the second half.
Yeah, but
26.7 field goal percentage, bro.
25 in a second. That's I mean, that's I for RJ, I would have never expected.
Yeah, I felt like he felt it and kept going. He was like, oh nah. How many assists he had? Because he was rolling. He had 6 assists.
35, 8 and 6.
8 rebounds. Yeah.
The boy's out there playing ball, man. He's out there playing ball. One turnover. Joe said there was a play where one play with Kyra looked like he was trying to force RJ right, and RJ literally moved his little ass out the way and went left. Kyra tried it, yo. He's a little dude. And we know Kyra. That's the guy. And now if you guys watched tonight's game, the point guard on the Pelicans was the guy that I really wanted us to draft last year. And we ended up, of course, going with Obi and Quick. Yeah, well, and we ended up going with Obi and Quick. Remember I was talking about Kyra Lewis during the draft?
Oh, that was the dude?
That's the guy. That was the guy. He's good. The guy can get downhill. He's quick. He's quick as hell. How much did he end up with? He ended up with 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. The kid is good.
Yeah,
the kid is good, especially for someone who's not a starter right now in the league. He's definitely somebody who I was interested in at the draft, but he did his thing tonight. But it wasn't enough, apparently. So, but let's move on. There's a lot of RJ talk. It's getting crazy in here. Kemba Walker. Oh, my bad, Dre. You were right. Kemba Walker did have 19 points.
Oh man.
Do I ever know what I'm talking about on here?
I'm trying to talk to y'all, but whatever, man.
Do I ever know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Toxic. Shout out to Toxic Knicks fan. He said
I can't hear you for a few seconds whenever you pop that thing up.
There's something wrong with your What you drink, bro? I don't
Alec
know.
Burks is an op.
He said Alec Burks is an op. I don't care what anybody said. I don't know what's up with Alec Burks. Tonight he had a let's talk about Alec Burks real quick. He had 1 point tonight. No, he didn't have 1 point. He had 10 points. Who had 1 point?
Somebody had 1 point.
No, nobody has 1 point. Oh, Obi Toppin.
Oh, Obi Toppin.
Yeah, free throw.
Obi had 1
point. He missed the first one.
I mean, he took one shot in 10 minutes.
Yeah, there was 1 point where he I saw like the coach took him out, and it was, I forgot what he did wrong, but it just didn't look like it was working.
Mm.
And he took him out of there. You saw how he would take Mitchell out, and then he would put Taj in there.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried.
What about Obi?
And quickly.
Why you say that?
They're not getting the minutes they need to be productive.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about them per se. They're just not getting the minutes they need to be productive.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at it, I feel like, see, this is what I feel like the coach is doing. If it's working, he's gonna go with them. But I did think that when the bench came in, they were going to light the spark. Like you said, the bench scored 30-some points. I thought they were going there. Emmanuel never got comfortable.
Yeah. The bench didn't look good tonight.
The bench did not look good today.
I mean, Derrick Rose
had 5 points. If the bench looked good, we beating these guys by 20 points.
By 20 points. Yo, listen, Derrick Rose had 5 points.
And he was only in there 15. I was gonna say the whole bench. He was in there 15 minutes.
This is what I mean. I don't know why Julius played 37 minutes. Now, he wasn't as good as last game. Last game, he played 30-something minutes, but, he had 9 assists, 13 rebounds. 16 rebounds, 13 points. So he was out there doing a lot of stuff. But tonight, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. 6 rebounds, 4 assists.
He's like our 5th leading scorer.
He didn't look like he wanted to play tonight, though. He really didn't.
This is what I'm saying. Like, he didn't
look
look
like
these
games every now and then where he just looks out of it.
Yeah, but I think he's far going from, he used to play for the Pelicans. So you would think he would come out there with that fire, but it just didn't feel like I said, they played down. Like, it just seemed like Julius was leading with the lackadaisical type of vibe. I got that from him especially.
Right, yeah.
And the bench didn't seem, I didn't get a lot of fire from the bench. But again, this makes me happy that the Knicks pulled this out. I feel like if the Knicks put together a well-rounded game, I think we could play with the best of them. We could beat one of the best teams. We could sneak up on somebody.
Man, Julius played 38. He played the most minutes. He played 38 minutes.
Mm-hmm. RJ Barrett had a few minutes less.
Well, RJ Barrett had less minutes and had 35 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
was way more productive. Yeah. On all levels than Julius Randle was tonight.
Yep.
I'm just wondering
like why played that many minutes. See, this is what's happening. Wow. I feel like it's a coach thing where if this squad is working, he's gonna play the squad. I feel like the numbers will be flipped.
He does
the bench had a good night.
He's gonna play them regardless.
Remember I said he does this platoon swap. He doesn't like leave one guy in if another guy. He doesn't want to like mess up chemistry. So if one of the bench guys isn't playing, like they all don't play. It's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean Taj is the only guy who like doesn't get cast to a bench role kind of thing. Like he just plays, you know what I mean? Because if you look at it, he usually does a platoon swap. He doesn't. He might have one guy in every now and then for another guy, but then it's usually Burks and Taj are like the two in between.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, Burks is the one guy. He'll throw him in there.
Yeah.
But Taj is the only reason why they got Taj in there like that is because we don't have Nerlens.
Nerlens, right. And this,
Taj be doing his thing, man. He had a good game tonight. How did he score? 13 points.
20 points, 13 points, 7 rebounds. And that's you look at what Mitch did. Yeah, 8 points and 5 rebounds. And I'm not gonna compare them.
4 offensive rebounds.
I'm not gonna compare them. Mitch played an excellent game, and I think a lot of what Mitch doesn't show up in the stats, which is why I don't ever care that he has 8 points and three of 3 from the field.
I'm confident in Mitch. I like him.
He's 100%. I think he's leading the league. Yeah, he. It's hard for him to deal with the Valanciunas, the Vucevic's back to back. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't do well with those and like the big guys. But I mean, Mitch, he's actually leading the league right now in field goal percentage. as usual, which he's getting just lobs all day. But I mean, listen, they count. It matters.
I didn't like his screens tonight. I felt like they were
Lax.
sloppy
Yeah.
or like he didn't commit to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he needs to do that, or else he's not going to get lobs. Like he's not going to get the open looks that he normally gets if he doesn't commit to those screens.
Yeah. He does set weird screens. I was hoping it was kind of because I did notice that, but I was hoping it was kind of he was like a little timid because of the ankle or whatever the foot that happened last game. But yeah, man. As far as the bench, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just hoping that this is one of those games where the starters were good and the starters just did their thing. Um, Mitch was in there for 27 minutes and he was doing a lot of things that don't show up on the stat sheet. 2 for 2, 100% from the free throw line. Got to clap it up for him there. But Evan Fournier, man, he's low key becoming our most consistent scorer.
He's dangerous.
19 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, but 6 of 14 from the field and 5 of 8 from the 3-point line. The guy can literally light it up, and he can get hot at any point. He has the head fake sidestep three just in his bag. Like this, that's easy. He does it
He's
whenever
6
he
for
wants.
14 from the field, and 5 of them were 3-pointers.
Yeah, and 5 of them for 3. No, 8 of them. Oh yeah, 5. He made 5. Like yeah, exactly. So basically, he made one other shot outside of the 3-point.
Right.
So yeah, but Dre, what'd you see from Evan tonight?
I saw Evian. I saw Fournier, Evian. There you go. That's his new nickname. Mm-hmm. I like that the boy could just score. It seemed like it's nothing for him to score. They left him open. He gonna hurt you. Mm-hmm. He's one of those dudes. Sometimes I see him on defense, and I'm like get in. Like get back. Yeah. Like he looked like he'd take a shake real bad and be over here. Yeah. And there was a lot.
He gambles a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So but I think that when he comes off with 19 points in the game like that, I just think that's where he makes up for it. He did that little fake in the corner, had homeboy up in the air, step back.
Oh man,
he does that too much. Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, that dude, it just feel like he's automatic with it. You know what I'm saying? He's 5 for 8 from 3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What was it? 60-something% from 3-point. That dude he's always dangerous. So if he has a game like he had, this is why the Knicks are incredible. He had a game like he had. RJ Barrett having a game like that. And then Kemba having another game with like 19, like that's kind of, and that's not even counting in the bench. They said the bench scored 32 points.
Which is low for us.
Yeah. Right. But that's like an average number. That's like a light night for like the bench.
That's an NBA average.
Right.
Which is crazy. So, like we had an NBA average bench night tonight and we're like dissatisfied.
And that right there is excellent. But I do want to ask you guys, because I think that this is affecting a lot of these games too. What do you guys think about the foul calling so far?
Love it.
I don't get it. I don't see what they.
Yeah, it's confusing, right?
Yeah, like sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't, and then all the refs they look like they're in agreement. So I don't get it. I don't see.
I love it because what I want them to get into these players' heads is don't depend on us to get you to this next level, because a lot of guys have used it and abused it. Look at the averages of points for just James Harden and Trae Young. It's damn near 10 points. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
what, 10 points a game they scoring, you saying, or like what they
no, it's damn near 10 points of a difference from
less,
what they
right.
Less, especially Harden. You know what I'm saying? And it's they are who they are. You know what I'm saying? They still elite scorers. That's not going to take that away from them, but they're trying to get across the table. Don't use us to get you to that next level. If you need to score, then score. If you get fouled, you get fouled.
But what does it change though? Because the people who would get most of the fouls, they're still going to get more foul calls than people that don't get foul calls. So they're still going to get more points at the line than other players. So all it does is just lower down the average of how many times a player goes to the foul line. But they're still going to have more than the rest.
No, because it's not about them. It's at the end of the day, they want a less. The problem is they're not happy with the tempo of the game. There's too much stoppage.
Yes, I get
that. They're trying to get them to be used to the pace of the game and get it back to where it used to be, where we're not going to call everything. No, we're not going to call just because you flailed your arms up. We know you're drawing a foul. We're not going to call it now because we don't know when you're actually being fouled. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many games that they've looked back on in the playoffs the past couple of years where guys are actually getting fouled and they're not calling it, or guys are not getting fouled and they're calling it because they're flailing their arms, and these are game-defying plays.
Right.
So they want to get out of that habit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. So that's just
I
my
like it
opinion.
for the flow.
Yeah, for the flow of the game.
Right. Yes.
You know what it made me think of? I feel like the calls that the players are not getting, I feel like the way they've been refereeing the Knicks games, I feel like that's across the whole NBA now.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Because we're used to it now.
Right. Because I just feel like I'm like, now everybody knows how we've been feeling. It just seems like we wouldn't get these calls
That's
on
true.
a bunch of nights. Yo, that's the way.
It's true.
When I was looking at it, and that's the way it hit me. I was like, yo, it just seems like they're reffing the whole league the way they were reffing the Knicks for the last few years. That's what it seemed like. You know,
Every
so I might
team
be
feels that
exaggerating.
way.
Huh?
Every team feels that way, though.
I'm sure every
Yeah,
team
I'm
feels
sure.
like
But
they
like,
don't
but
get
looking at it,
involved.
I mean, sometimes you see people like, oh, that was a foul when they do the replay.
Yeah.
Almost like that Kevin Durant, but they did. I was like, yo, that was a push off when he dropped homeboy the other game on the Pacers last night.
I saw that, but I mean,
he ain't push him.
He didn't. You're saying
he did not push him?
I think he just fell. I think homeboy.
That's what I'm saying. So I thought initially that he pushed him. I was like, yo, why they ain't call that? So when they showed it back slow motion, another angle, I was like, oh, he ain't push him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times, I don't care what the team is. Like a call's the call. If it's the right call, if it's the right call, if it's not, it's not.
Right.
But I love it that these dudes can't come in here like when we play Trey Young, and he's gonna be kicking his legs out, and he's gonna be jumping into you for a 3-pointer. In those games where he was making it interesting, and they win at the end of the games because he's getting those calls.
Yeah.
I love that. That's not gonna happen anymore if they stay consistent.
Yeah.
Well, they won't stay consistent. They usually try to make a point in the beginning of the season, and then towards the end of the season,
towards the end of the season, they go back to regular. But this is hard to go back on. There's gonna be some funny stuff. But like the three,
they always call it different in the playoffs anyway.
Harden said, "Fuck you talking about."
Well, Harden. If you look at the foul, like they said the same thing I said. Like he figured it out. Like he was like, all right, so they're gonna call these.
Mm-hmm. So he's always going to search for the foul. That's hard.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to go for the foul to get that. He's going to go in there, go in traffic, and you know, the pace can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I think that any player in the league, I don't care who you are, what I like about RJ attacking the basket is there's a likelihood where you're going to get fouled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you smash that like button, yo, for real,
please do. Thank you.
If you go into the basket and you're aggressive, sometimes they gotta foul you. You know what I mean? I think they gotta do something with they fouls on purpose. Some of those fouls I don't get, and Quickly does those a lot. Where they start with the fast break and you foul somebody, like I don't understand why you stop.
Clyde says it every single time, and I understand him because sometimes I understand it because you don't want them to get momentum,
right?
And that's what you're trying to avoid. Because if the guy goes up and if Miles Bridges is driving to the basket and he's about to get a fast break dunk, I'm fouling him because whatever dunk he's about to do, the whole team is going to feed off of that. And then everybody's going to start going. They're going to be hitting threes, contested, and I don't need none of that. So I'm going to foul you. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to run this play up the court the way we're supposed to do that. Right. But every single time, Quick does it every time.
He does it more than anybody else on the team. I know
it's just like if it happens 5 times in the game, he did it 3 or 4.
He did maybe 4. Maybe.
I just feel like it's laziness on defense. Like
it's lazy.
He's not pushing to get in front.
Look at him like, why didn't you just run with him? Like if they was gonna score anyway, why didn't you just go? Like because you might be stopping it in the next play. They get the ball. If we're not in the what do you call it? If you're not in the penalty, and I might get it and drop a 3, and it's just like, what'd you just do? Like you could have just took the 2-pointer, or you could have played D, and you could have got the foul anyway. But at least you stopped them on the ball when they, it just seems like you said, it's lazy. It's a cop out.
Is that a true stat?
Who Toxic?
Yeah.
Toxic says Knicks are number 1 in the NBA in offense. If that's true, that's outrageous.
They said that we were last in free throw percentage, though.
Well, I mean, shit. With the Julius
71%.
Where can I go to find out if this is true? Because that sounds crazy.
Let's see. Yeah, let me look. Let me see what real.
Toxic. Put it up on the board on the screen so we can see it, man.
Toxic.
That'd be cool if they could do that. Have people put it up there. Yo, put that up there so we can see.
Put that on the stream. See what? Let me see what that said.
Drop that in there, man.
Let's see. Oh no, this is Spot Track. I need to go to Real GM and see what Real GM says about that. Cause um, offense.
It's
Whoa.
true. Xavier says it's true.
Let's see. Well, analysis team
Oh,
stats.
and Joe said it, so you can stop looking now.
Yeah,
That's outrageous.
I'm not even gonna look anymore. If Joe said it, then it's true.
Joe said it, yeah.
Yo, Joe, word. Joe's our stat man. Yo, Joe, get us some interesting stats out here, man.
Joe said it's true. I'm not looking anymore. Not looking
Yeah.
anymore.
So we missing. See, we don't fucked around and forgot. Word, Joe, we having the stats.
I
Word.
forgot.
Hey, yo, Joe.
Joe. See, man, this is why you got to be here. You talk about
position.
I'll be watching a replay. You can't help us watching the replay, fam. You know what I mean?
you
Like,
had to
come
be
on,
on
bro. What are
here.
you
I
doing?
don't know if you working, you clock out, you see that thing say, yo, the Knicks gonna be live tonight, 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever. You're like, oh shit, I gotta get over work, get home, and all of that. Word.
God up next need me.
Word. You like that fourth guy. Your word, you know what I mean? You the sixth man of the year, Joe. Come on, man, stop playing. But that's interesting. I want to look into that and see what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Your word good. Your word good. Joe got a history though.
Let me tell you something. This is what I think is going to happen. Like I said in our text right before we jumped on. I have a feeling that the Knicks is going to keep winning, right? And they're going to be like, oh, it's a fluke. It's a fluke. It's a fluke. Mm. And then when they keep winning, they're going to be like, oh, like, you know, we stay up in the top three. They're going to be like, it's a fluke. You get to the end of the season, we still up there. You know what I'm saying? Barring some injury or whatever the case. But I still think the Knicks is deep.
I slightly disagreed with that only because I feel like
toxic. Don't do that, Toxic. Come on, son.
No, Toxic, come on, man.
No, I say your word is good. It's just Joe got a history, so you know.
Joe got a history.
Toxic. I said you was coming for Joe's job. Like, don't start. You know, so we was just having a good night. Stop, man. Stop.
Now listen, we don't want Toxic and Joe to. We don't want Toxic and Joe to start going at battling for position in here. Man. Come on, it's all love here.
But I just have a feeling.
Apologize, Toxic. Go ahead, Dre.
Word, Toxic. You the man. Word. Just keep coming with the stats, man.
Yo, you ain't no shit. Toxic said it first.
Bro, Joe, you mad slow. Why he had to say it first, Joe? Nah.
You ain't say it first. Nah, but go ahead, Rick. What you saying?
I was gonna say I feel like people in general are starting to give Knicks a little bit more credit for what they've been doing. I hear
what in the media?
Just normal people. People.
I think normal people like, the Knicks suck, but like, yo, we number one in the East. What you talk about? They're
exactly.
Like, are we? I feel like they don't really know. They just used to saying it. Like they don't know what's going on. They just be like, the Knicks suck. I'm like, actually, they don't. No, not right now. They don't. You know what I mean?
Good, yeah.
That's why I want to see. I want to see what they say about it tomorrow. You know, with the Knicks being 5-1 and with Washington being 5-1 too, and who they believe in more.
Way back again, getting that Randall. I don't know what's going on. Randall getting smoked out there, but he's out there doing his thing. He's doing his thing. He's still being productive in other ways. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, the perception of the team will always be what it is until we win consistently. And I think even then the run joke will be just too good for them to not talk about the Knicks. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like that's just what it's always going to be. You're New York. You're probably the most popular state in the damn country.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
The team is gonna be super because they said that what the highest value team in the NBA when we were losing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, we haven't been winning in forever, and we've always been in the top 2, 3.
The number one team. Oh, it'd be us and the Lakers.
And you know who we haven't mentioned in like forever?
Who's that?
Yeah,
the owner.
Oh, right. Mr. Dolan. Yeah, nobody really mentioned him.
Have not mentioned him in forever.
Yeah,
because I don't think it ever really mattered. I just think that it matters to some degree.
It did matter,
but he's got to get the right people in there. And I think now he's got the right people in the office.
And now he fell back, which is great.
Right, and I feel like anybody who owns a team, if they're not doing well, you always try to get involved, whether for better or for worse. Try to get involved and do your thing. But if you hire a squad that supposed to handle business and they do that, you hands off. You let it go. Yeah. You can go play with this band every night.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
It don't matter.
So to the chat once again. Hit that like button if you hear. Joe says, he makes a great point. I feel like the Knicks need to get Randall the ball on the move. When he catches when he catches it in the ISO on the elbow, teams have a plan for that. The whole league at this point knows exactly what to do with Julius when he catches the ball at the elbow.
But it doesn't slow him down. Like I saw him shoot over 3 guys. I'm just like, yo, pass the ball.
Yeah, you got 3 people on you. Somebody's open.
Yeah.
I always think it's like one of those things where it's like when he gets the ball, it doesn't matter what the defense is giving him. He's saying, I'm going to shoot the ball. I'm going to score. And so it doesn't matter what's in front of him. He goes for it. That's why it looks crazy sometimes.
Tell me if I'm tripping.
I think
this is what he does that annoys me to no end.
What's up?
They got the mismatch. He's on somebody mad small and he's posting them forever. It's like, dude,
exactly.
Finish
Make
him,
move.
Dude.
Yeah.
No, I think the problem there is he posts from too high.
Yeah, he's posting all the way up like right. He's at the shoulder, and it's just like, dude, take him to the rack. Like, finish that dude quick. Force them to W.
Exactly.
And
well,
get somebody...
the thing is that when you're in that position, you have to get to the spot quick. And I think he takes too long. Because if you get the switch and you're on, like last game, we saw it a lot. He got the switch and he was on Lonzo the whole night. And every time he was on Lonzo, he was posting him up from
the top of the key.
He was posting him up from the top of the key. And every single time they had an answer for him, which is why he only had 13 points. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You have to get deeper in there. We were watching when we played the Sixers, and they were on national television, and Candy and Shaq and Ernie were talking, and Charles. Shaq was saying about Embiid. He said, "Look, he's getting the ball all the way up here. What do you can't show somebody you're a dominant big all the way out there. What are you gonna do all the way out there?"
And that's what I'm saying. He's holding it too long. Like, if you're gonna shoot over him, shoot over him.
Right.
Make your move.
If you got a dude that small on you, just turn around and shoot it.
Right. And I was gonna say that too, Joe. He only took 9 shots tonight. He didn't force the issue. But to be in there for that long, I feel like you could have something wasn't working. So I just feel like you just we got the win. I'm not gonna complain about that. I just feel like there's sometimes where I feel like coach wants to put the whole unit in instead of just making one swap just for a little bit. Like, I feel like 5 more Obi minutes wouldn't hurt us. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Randall having the kind of game that he had.
Yeah, if Randall's not having a good game, he should have Obi in there getting some time. But so Obi plays
5 minutes, 5 more minutes, yeah.
But yeah, Obi plays such a different game that I think that he's afraid to have him in there because he's not the guy that they're not giving him the ball at the top of the key.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's not in the post, 25 feet from the basket. You know what I'm saying? At half court. Like, it's so, and it's not, Joe, it's not so much that we're talking about this game, but I'm talking about over time. He's like, he gets the smaller guy and he's just holding him there and just not finishing him. Mm-hmm. Like, just cooking him. Just cook us barbecue chicken. Make it easy. Take him to the rack. You don't got to back him down when you're that far out. You know what I'm saying? You can run to the basket, and if they still there, then you back him down in the post, roll, spin.
That's right.
Finish or dish it off. He's holding it too long and taking too long to finish those little guys. Sometimes he takes advantage. He get the shot over them. You know what I'm saying? He did. What was that dude he had on him at one point? What's the 3-point shooter with the braids tonight? On
Devontae Graham.
Devontae Graham. He had him on him a couple times. It was like, yo, shoot.
Yeah.
He shot over him a couple times. That was easy. That was barbecue chicken. Sometimes I just want to go faster with that.
I mean, he's Julius usually I think a lot of what's happening with Julius is he's gotten into the 3-pointer so much that he's getting comfortable just floating out there a little bit more than just getting himself in the paint. And I think it's easier to double team him because when he gets the ball, he has to get in the paint. He's never catching it low enough to make a quick move. He has to get himself to that spot. And by the time he does, they're converging on him, and then he has to make the play. But he does that well. That's the only reason why I don't really want to get on him too much, because he actually does the post playmaking pretty well. You know what I'm saying?
Check this out.
What were you gonna say, Dre?
Was it you? Did you guys send it to me, or did I happen to see it online? They had this they were talking to Michael Jordan. They interviewed him, and they said, you knocked down X amount of 3-pointers the last game. Mm-hmm. And they said, why don't you shoot more threes? He was like, I don't want to shoot 3-pointers. He said, I get it. You feel it. You take the shot. He was like, but just because you can shoot 3-pointers, this is what I always say. Just because you shoot 3-pointers, he said, what ends up happening is you sit out there around the 3-point line waiting for the ball, and it makes it easy for them to defend you.
Yeah.
Like he was like, you don't work on all the other facets of your game. You just sit out there waiting for your shot. And that's what happens with the NBA. You see dudes standing there, and it's like everybody standing on the corner. This one standing there.
That's what we had. The problem we had with Obi last year is he stood out there too much.
He's standing out there waiting, like, nah, go in there and dunk on somebody.
And
especially early in your career, maybe later on he'll do like a Blake Griffin. You pick up a jump shot and you start knocking it down at a better clip. And that's not even 3-pointers, but he got a few of those in his bag. But he's more of like a 15 to 20 footer now.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to jumping over cars and shit no more.
Well, one thing I've noticed about Julius is that this year he's a lot more comfortable. I think today he just wasn't in it. I think it was just
he didn't look like he wanted to play.
I just think it was as simple as that. I don't think they forced him out of his position. I don't think that he was a terrible teammate. I just think he just wasn't in it today. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't look like he was wanted to get. You didn't see the Julius trying to get to his spots on the floor. It looked like Julius Randle was deferring to his teammates, which you should do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but if we noticed it, why doesn't the coach do it? So, you know, it must be a matchup thing, because if the coach he's not into it tonight, let me give Obi a couple more minutes, but he still didn't do that. It seems like,
I mean, that's what I'm saying,
as a decoy.
Yeah, and I think you kind of have to use him as a decoy in the starting unit. If you have Obi out there with the starters, it doesn't. I don't want to have Obi out there 20 minutes with the starters because they don't know how to run with Obi for 20 minutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they used to give it at that position. They used to him being at the top, bringing the ball up and all that.
Right. And even if Obi's not going to be productive, he's on as a scorer, he's not going to bring you the playmaking that Julius brings you. So you're losing a lot with Obi being on the floor, out, you know, with Julius not being there. But to me, I just feel like Julius tonight was kind of used as a decoy. Like I said, you kind of have to do that. You kind of have to use him as a decoy because you have to use someone that you know they're going to double team every single time he gets the ball. You know, every single time Julius gets the ball, everyone's going to have their eyes on him because they assume Julius is going to go for, you know, especially if you have a smaller guy on you, I'm gonna go for the mismatch, and that's what he does well. So
I don't like it.
Yeah, having him there is good for as a decoy in a way, but it led to a win. He's not making the shots that, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna say, because there's games where Jordan didn't shoot well, and he probably had 15 points, 10 points, and you were talking about Jordan who scores 30 points on average. And there's games where he scores 10 points. I'm not going to take him out of the game because his shot isn't falling. You know what I'm saying? Because
I could dig that. But like Joe said, you know, you have to understand that this year is going to be different. It's not going to be Julius every night, and it doesn't happen.
Right.
That's what we talk about when you have somebody like
Kemba, you deferred,
and then you have somebody like Evan Fournier. These dudes both coming up with that's almost 40 points between two of them.
Yeah.
But he's Julius. He's a star of the team right now. I know that's debatable, but at the same time, he was the guy last year. So if he's going to be on the court, he's got to look like he wants to be there. Him being a decoy, I don't like. We don't need decoys.
Well, not literally.
We need play. We need playmaking.
In terms of how they run their offense, yeah. In certain plays, he is the decoy. Even when he's on, he's a decoy in certain plays. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of the playbook. Even when, like, nights where Julius is scoring 30 points, you have to use Julius as a decoy. It's part of the offense. That's what you do in every sport. You know what I mean? Not just basketball. Even if the guy, like Tom Thibodeau says every single time, just because the play is drawn up for you does not mean you finish the play.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally agree.
So it's part of the offense. That's just how you have to run it sometimes. Even if Julius isn't making those shots. Like I said, I'm not mad that he played 30 something minutes. I just feel like Obi could have played 5 more minutes, being the fact that he only played 10 minutes tonight. You know what I'm saying?
That changes the play calling and all of that. And I think Tibbs
it does, right.
Tibbs is a guy that he was like, I want to go. This is what we're going to use. We're going to use this all game. This is how it's going to go. And we're going to run that. If we can run this, it's whatever he sees is effective is what he's going to run with. Right. Whether we recognize it or not, identify, he's going to go with that thing. I think that Obi didn't look like he had a lot of, like you said, I don't know if it was a rhythm thing. He didn't look like he was having a good night tonight anyway. So I think that if he was slamming and jamming and he was knocking down things from the corner, if he had 2 blocks, he had the most blocks.
He had some blocks and he looked like he was involved, which is I'm impressed with his defense.
I think he had an okay little time out there. I don't know if he affected the game like they'd hope he would. So, and I think that's why he was like, if I'm gonna lose this with Julius.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that not for nothing that you kind of got to go with that. Like I got to go with my start, see if he gives us a chance. Because like
Right.
again, like if he is the decoy, Obi may not be the decoy, but Obi might knock some corner joints down because that's where he sits a lot. You see how Obi sitting in that corner a lot of time.
Right.
You want to talk
I
about
don't know.
quickly?
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me how you feel about Quick.
I don't know what's going on with him. Like that shot is not falling at all, and he had some good looks tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know.
you didn't see it?
No. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead. I was
oh,
gonna say
oh,
something. I just stopped myself. Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah. Like and we kind of need that flash off the bench, and I feel like that's what was missing tonight. Even though
Yeah.
the bench scored the same amount as their bench, it just wasn't. Um, it wasn't the heart. Like normally when the bench comes out there, they make a couple of plays that get the crowd on their feet. Like I just didn't feel that tonight.
Yeah, I don't remember what D Rose did tonight. Like it just didn't seem like they were
Not
there.
much. Not
Quiet.
much. Yeah.
Quiet. I mean, he had a rattling 3 and one drive.
Yes.
Didn't he have 2 threes that went in like they bounced out and went back in? Was that him with the two?
Nah, he only had 5 points. So
I
yeah,
think
one
that
three
was.
and
I
then
think that was Walker.
But Quick is gonna have those games. I feel like any
that was
shooter
Kimber. That
has
was
those
Kimber. That was
games.
Kimber.
I think Quick is thinking. I think he's thinking a lot. I don't think
Too
he's loose
much.
out there yet.
Yeah.
He's worried about who's out there, who's with him, and I just think that he's worried
Or maybe
about
he's
if he
just
takes a
like,
bad shot, how he's gonna be benched or something like that.
yeah. I think it's more of that.
That's what it seemed. That's what it looks like to me. But he's shooting some of these threes, and sometimes they're not going down. One he had a bad miss the other night, and I was like, man,
He
you know
started
what I
off,
mean?
but he started off bad last year, as well. You
He
know what I'm
started
saying?
off
Like,
good, then he had like a bad streak.
Yeah.
Then he got back.
no, I mean to start the season, like he wasn't making a lot of shots. He was making his free throws, but I think after that he started to get back into it, and then the coach was like, I want him to shoot, because I remember that it was the turning point was coach was like, I want him to shoot, like he shoots well, that's why he's out there, and then he started shooting, and then Quick was the Quick we knew after that. But I think he's still trying to be a point guard too much. I think he just go out there and score, bro.
We
No one's
talked
gonna
about
be
that in
mad
the
at you.
last podcast. You gotta go just score, be the shooting guard, just shoot.
Yeah. Like nobody's gonna be mad if you're going out there looking for your buckets, because you are Emmanuel Quickly. That's what you do. That's what you're here to
you're
do.
off the bench. You got to keep the offense going. So
Yeah.
shoot.
If anything, you have more of a green light off the bench to go crazy than any other time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out still Knicks fans. My man, he said, "Let's go Knicks." What's up with this thing? Is it tripping? Oh, come on, man. I'm trying. It had me posting the wrong one. Anyway, got me looking crazy. Let's go Knicks fans. Salute to the chat. Salute to my guys Apollo, Dre, and Rick. Salute still Knicks, man. How y'all doing over there? I'm sure that's probably Ron that we talking to. But shout out Ron. How you doing, bro? Quickly.
She got the fat beat. I don't even know that's the old radio
Crazy.
joint.
Xavier Marshall said, I think when they tried to change Quickly's position and he's caught between the old and the new. We said that last show. I think he's trying to be too much of a point guard. And he said that to I forgot one of the press conferences on media day. He was like, I'm a point guard. And I think that when you say that, you have to live by it. And I think he's caught between trying to live by, I said I'm gonna be a point guard and that's what I'm gonna do. And so
why do you think it matters to anybody what he thinks his position is on the team?
I think it matters because he doesn't want to be a bench player. He wants to be a starter. And I think there's a certain path. Every player's path is different because it depends on who's in front of you. If there was nobody here, if we didn't have a D Rose, if we didn't have a Kemba, it'd be Emmanuel Quickly, and he'd have the opportunity to figure it out up until this point. But he just hasn't had that opportunity because he's always primarily had D Rose in front of him, or Alfred Payton, which is crazy, or now Kemba. And I think that's the problem when, and that's always been my thing with Quickly. I don't mind that he wants to be a point guard, but don't just lock yourself into that role, because you're gonna it becomes a battle. Now you got to fight for minutes and all of that. I think he should just be able to be a Swiss Army knife Get your minutes whenever you can. Score. Just be who you are, man. I think he's just got to figure it out. Joe, how about you? How do you feel about Quick?
Yeah, I just feel like he's having a rough patch. This is one of those times it just seems like he's caught with trying to do the right thing and be a point guard and a shooting guard, and he's not shooting, and he's like holding it. I think he got a call one time. I don't know if he traveled or something like that, but it was like he got caught thinking, not letting the game come to him. But I'm not sure he knows what the letting the game come to him is right now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. He doesn't know if he should let the game come to him as a point guard or as a shooting guard. But if Derrick Rose is bringing up the rock, it's like, yo, you the shooting guard, like go out there. So if you don't get it right, they're gonna be playing Burks for a lot more minutes out there. Next thing you know, you see Kevin Knox, he's in trouble.
Or he'll become trade bait. But anyway,
but the kid is good. I think it's still early.
Yeah,
and that's this is another point. This is another point. So he needs to get it together.
Yeah,
because I definitely saw Deuce go in there for defense at the end of one of them quarters. But going forward, we have Monday the Raptors at home, Pacers away in their arena. We play the Bucks in their arena. We play the Cavaliers on Sunday at home. So that's going to be an early game, 6 p.m. What you got for those four? We're going.
Like I said, we already want to know.
Win.
4-0. 4-0. The next four.
Because last game, what did we say? Me, Dre, and I said 5-0.
You said 4-1.
Who said 4-1?
I did.
I never said 4-1. I said
5. I did. Yeah.
Oh, you said 4-0.
You said 4. He said 4-1. We said 5-0. Yeah. So we can't take any losses.
Rick, who we losing to?
I said we probably do something stupid and lose to the Cavs.
Cavs been balling, so I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. I feel like we would be
that's
ready
the type of team. They just gonna run. They're gonna run you to death. You gotta come in there ready to play.
Yeah. They almost got away with one versus the Lakers. They got away with one versus the Clippers already. So these guys are gonna ball. These guys not a ball.
I love it when the Clippers and when the Lakers, especially the Lakers, lose. I just love it. I love it when all these big teams supposed to win. And they
of course.
And they don't do anything.
So we're sticking with the 5-0. 5-0. So that means we're gonna win all of those. Toxic says that's a Tibbs problem. He is horrible for getting young players ready for the next step. That's why his teams never go far in the playoffs. I think the only guys that don't really suffer from those are the RJs and the Julie and then the Jimmy Butlers. The guys are like fringe starters by the time he gets there, because it's like if you're not a starter already, it's like he believes you are what you are. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we don't continue to have those issues. You know what I'm saying? Still Knicks fan says my man Dre got all the we here hats. You know what I'm saying? Dre got all the drinks. I was mad. I didn't get none of them. I'm gonna get over him. I'm gonna get over it.
I copped two that night, Ron. I was like, give me the blue one, give me the black one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I had that one. I got which one I got? Matter of fact, hold on.
You got the black and yellow joint too.
Here we go.
I got the blue one. Why you chill? We here. New York, we here. You want me to put the camouflage joint on?
Yeah, every time I noticed that he says it in the Julius Randle voice every single time.
We here. The intelligent athlete voice. New York, we here. After they made the hat, I'd been like, y'all think y'all funny. Y'all went with the grammar I went with. I was just saying that to be, New Yorkish, but y'all gonna sit there and put it on the hat. We here.
I think he got it from his son, didn't he? Or no, I think it was vice versa. Either way.
Nah, he was up on the mic and they were recording him. When they record him and they interviewing him and the mic is going through the speakers.
Oh yeah, he was like, New York, we here.
New York,
and then
his
son started saying
he walked away. I said, we're here. We're They wasn't gonna put an apostrophe RE on this joint.
See, DeRozan drops 32 in W. Chicago looking scary at 5-1. You see, the freaking media goes ridiculous with these people.
Who was that?
Bleacher Report. Chicago's looking scary at 5-1 as DeRozan puts up 30 for the first time in a Bulls win over the Jazz. The first win versus a real team. This
they beat a real team, but they ain't beat the Knicks. Can we talk about that?
I mean, we've beaten a bunch of real teams this whole. Yeah, listen. Whatever.
because Chicago won, they put us back at number 1 spot.
Really?
I just refreshed. Yeah, man.
Oh, for real? So we are number 1. Now let me refresh that. Let me see. I got to see it from out there. Let's go. And they dropped Washington to number 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so if they above Washington,
we first in the East. Yeah,
look at this. The Knicks is yo, screenshot that, man.
Listen now, 5-1 in the East. I like that.
Yo, but none of these teams at the top are supposed to be up there.
Exactly.
None of these.
Yo, Charlotte is 4-2 right now.
Crazy.
And they above the 76ers.
Yep.
Milwaukee is the 8th seed right now. I know it's early, and Brooklyn is in the 10th. Yo,
that's why Toronto's as high as they are.
See, but this is exactly why people laugh at us when we say, yo, we're the first in the East right now. Because everybody's like, season just started. Of course, y'all the first in the freaking East. But whatever, it's fine.
But if it was the Nets, nobody would be saying anything close to that. They'd be like, oh, they're Nets.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's whatever, man.
It's fine. I tell you what, if we win this next 4 and we're 9-1, they're gonna have to start putting some real respect on our name. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
I want that same energy. I want that same energy from Bleacher Report popping on my phone talking about they looking scary. Come on, so they look scary versus us. They didn't.
Well,
they didn't
look, we look whack tonight. The Knicks ain't really, this is what I like. The Knicks ain't even really looking that good yet, and we still. I mean, a few plays look good.
Yeah.
The Knicks didn't really put together a good game. They let them stay in the game. Like I said, it looked like they didn't have the passion tonight, but we still won.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I could dig it. They not looking scared. It's looking like Chicago looking like they playing hard. That's the thing. When dudes play us, they look like a different team against the Knicks.
Yeah, they just do. It's a completely different team.
Yeah, and I'm excited for Mitch because Mitch is in there, man. That's why I can't wait to see Nerlens being back and see how that goes. You know what I mean? Defending the paint even when Mitch is out, catching alley-oops.
Yep.
Hey, let's tell you, RJ looked good with them assists tonight. If that dude is diamond like that,
and that's what I said.
If he's diamond like that,
he's starting to look good with those assists, man. He's starting to be a lot more flashy. That play he got down, he went downhill and then he whipped it around to Taj, who was just. I'm like, that was the number one. It was a perfect pass.
Perfect pass.
The timing on it was perfect.
That reminded me of Shumpert when he was talking about that Kobe story when he was like, "Bro, what you on?"
Yeah. You're like, yo, what you on, bro?
What you on, bro?
What you on, bro? Yeah. That's how he talk. Yo, what you on, bro?
What you on?
Shout out to the chat, man. Thank you. Oh man, I was about to get that out of here. And Toxic gonna, of course, have to say that. Listen, man, I'm not gonna blame nothing. Whatever losses we take, we need. I
strongly doubt it's gonna be because we lost because of Noel.
Yeah, why would
he might ease him in. He might with Butterfingers. He might drop.
You never know. It could be a 1-point game and we lob it to Nerlens and he like this. And then we lose.
Yo, put him back. Put him back on the injured list.
He's not gonna fumble that game on a live.
I don't know.
He usually misses that on rebounds and stuff like that.
No, he usually misses it on the pass, like under the paint. He's sitting there like,
he misses it on the pass. He misses it on tips. He misses it on like fumbles. Like if it's not a direct pass to his hands that he's looking at, he's gonna miss it. It's gonna miss it. Ping pong paddle hands. It's nothing. You can't say it any better than that. Because that's exactly what it looks like. Imagine you have to catch it with a ping pong. Yo, you remember how the old basketball games used to look, Dre? And all their hands used to be like that. Everything they did.
Double dribble. Remember that game? Double dribble.
Thank you once again for tuning into the God Up Next podcast. We got some more games coming up. We will be here Monday night after the game.
We ain't playing no games. We got games coming up, but we don't play.
We ain't playing no games.
Right.
Tell him, Dre, one more time. Dre. Tell him one more time. Tell him what was that?
We here, New York. We here.
In the Julius Randle voice. We here.
We here.
Yo, man. Thank you guys.
We here. What? We here.
Oh, we're not over there?
No. We here.
Yeah, we not over there. No, we over here.
He said, over there? No. We here.
Yo, I'm out of here, yo. Thank y'all for tuning in. To God on Knicks podcast.
Why you laughing so hard?
Yo, cause you so ridiculous, man. Oh my gosh. I'm
Yo, look, we're right next to the guy. GUK, we here. Yo, over there.
He looked.
No, we here. How you look first? Like,
He looked.
no, we here.
Yo, man, I can't stand.
That's stupid.
Man.
I can't stand this guy, man. Thank y'all for tuning into the Guy on Knicks podcast. We'll see you guys Monday after our game, post game versus the Raptors, and which should be another dub, and we'll be 6-1. Feels good. Let's keep doing that, man.
Let's do it.
See y'all. Salute to the chat. Hit that like. Please subscribe, share, let everybody know. Dope show. Y'all have a good one, man. Till next time, man. Peace.